Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to another HRO Today educational podcast. I'm Elliot Clark, the CEO of HRO Today. We publish HRO Today Magazine, HRO Today EMEA, and HRO Today APAC, and we are the producers of the HRO Today forums and educational events held around the world, and the managers of the HRO Today Association. Today, we're going to again be talking about evolution, not Darwinism, but maybe a little bit of Darwinism. Recently, the HR Today Forum North America was held in Dallas. The theme was actually leading through uncertainty. Now, in my opening remarks, I pointed out that uncertainty in the business world is nothing new. In fact, I walked through half a dozen or more moments during my professional career when we've experienced uncertainty in the past, whether it's economic upheavals or the recent pandemic. One of the things we see with uncertainty is innovation occurs to meet evolving needs, just like the adaptations in Dr. Darwin's book. Now, in this podcast, we're going to be talking about the evolution of HR. And we have another great guest to talk about how the talent acquisition and the RPO industry has to evolve to meet the current business climates and what you should expect from a provider as, their approach in the coming months, years. What's the future hold? We have a great guest. Rick Betori is the president of PeopleScout, which is a True Blue company. PeopleScout is a division of the publicly traded True Blue Inc. It's one of the largest workforce services companies in the world. PeopleScout has experience with both high volume hiring and also hard to fill roles ranging from research scientists to airline pilots. They're one of the leading firms in workforce services, offering solutions for RPO, project recruitment, MSP. They offer recruiting technology and business analytics. PeopleScout is also one of the most highly rated of the RPO providers on the HRO Baker's Dozen for both RPO and MSP. And they've been on that list consistently for the last 15 years. Rick, welcome to the podcast. Anything you'd like to add about PeopleScout for our audience?
Well, Elliot, first of all, thank you. And everyone really just appreciate the opportunity to be here today. I think you covered PeopleScout well, so thank you so much for the accolades. Just a couple of other data points. We're operating right now in over 40 countries around the globe. As Elliot mentioned, we're proud to be a member in good standing, high-ranking member among HRO Today, and we're consistently posting some of the highest retention rates in our industry. And so we're really proud about that. We know that comes with commitment and a responsibility to work on our clients' behalf. And so really happy to join you all here today.
Yeah, you guys almost never lose clients. So you must be good at adaptation. Rick, you and I've had numerous conversations about the changing needs of corporate talent acquisition. Now, you've described the philosophy that you and your team are now following of engaging with clients on what you call the best fit approach. What is that? And what role does technology and analytics play in achieving the best fit approach? And if you could sort of give us some backdrop on how this is sort of evolved over let's say, the last 5 years, with the pandemic and some of the economic upheavals. What is the best fit approach? How does it work? And how do you make that part of your ethos?
Well, the answer is really pretty simple, Elliot, when you think about it. Best fit for us means just making it easy for clients to get what they need today. And I think there was so much that was happening in our industry over the last, let's say, 10 years around bringing kind of best in breed together. What we also saw was just an opportunity as the economy changed to kind of augment that with this idea of best fit, which means clients aren't necessarily able to consume all of that at one time. And so it's how do we get them what they need today to be effective and giving them the flexibility to look at, gosh, I can add these services, these functionality, these features as kind of the market continues to improve. And so kind of going back to your point earlier, we looked at kind of uncertainty, and not only does it create innovation, but it creates opportunities. And so as clients tell us, gosh, we need to move fast, whether it's for that peak hiring or hard to fill roles. The caveat they've been bringing recently is they just can't afford these lengthy implementations, costly technical integrations, and I would kind of add disruptive operational change, right? It just takes too long to get some things done. So we've looked at this idea of providing options to bring both operating models and technology to our clients that kind of are more budget friendly, gives them kind of the ability to absorb change at a rate that probably better fits their downsized teams. And from our perspective, clients are really respecting this type of approach. And this best fit isn't just technology, right? We've seen our clients' TA teams kind of really flex up and down over the last number of years. In many cases, they've lost skill sets and information that's critical to their operations. And it really been painful for them. And so for us, this kind of best fit approach really translates to, number one, we're bringing some different blended service models, less rigidity to kind of our engagements. And we're looking at how do we leverage the strength of both teams, our client's team and ours, kind of rather than this one size fits all. Number two, we're taking a broader look at the client's EVP and brand, candidate personas, and we're often suggesting iterative, kind of cost-effective tweaks that can be executed and measured quickly rather than these complete overhauls. Number three, we're leveraging data and analytics to ensure that we're acting responsibly as a partner and efficiently, and we're focusing our resources on where we're going to get the biggest bang for our collective dollars. And then the last thing that I'd emphasize is part of this best fit is bringing a creative pricing model and shared accountability in terms that really align with the real-time challenges that TA leaders are facing today. I think there's just been so much change. And so from our standpoint, this best fit approach really includes wrapping up all of these elements. And as we say, simply meeting clients where they're at with the flexibility to expand in the future.
You touched on one thing, and before I move on to the next question, I just want to go back. You talked about, the up and down nature, and I recently told an audience that one of the casualties of the pandemic was workforce planning. It was ill before COVID-19 and it sort of expired during the pandemic. So we've seen wild swings where companies think that they're going to downsize or they're going to halt hiring, and then all of a sudden there's a surge. This is particularly what happened, after the initial lockdowns, but it's continued on because of this inability to predict. So how does the best fit approach sort of wrap around the fact that even the clients don't know exactly what's coming next with their workforce plans?
Let me look at it come at it from two different approaches. The first is how we're sizing kind of a team to help them. So the idea that we want to have as much flexibility in the way that we're delivering our services so that translates to flexibility for our clients, right? And we know that oftentimes the talent acquisition teams are getting information from their business leaders at the last minute. So, which is driving a lot of these moves, whether it's up or down. And so we're designing our teams to be able to move quickly as they're getting those types of requests. The other things that we're starting to talk to clients about is what's the right balance between kind of a full-time workforce and potentially a part-time workforce? And what would that look like? Exploring, a different balance to the ways that they kind of staff their warehouse or production facilities, for example, to help give them, again, more flexibility, on that side of their operation. So there's a couple ways that we're looking at it and talking to our clients about that, Elliot.
All right, so let's talk a little bit deeper into this best fit approach. To do this well, I would imagine you have to be, I'll use the term more connected to the client in several ways. I know, that's part of what you guys are trying to communicate in your branding, et cetera. So you've got to be more connected to the client, you have to be more consultative, but you also have to offer a fairly broad array of services. We look at the larger macro economy of the RPO industry. How are RPO firms such as PeopleScout changing the portfolio of services, the tech stack offerings and advisory services to achieve this more connected, best fit approach? I mean, you touched on a little bit of it. I want to drill down on that topic.
Yeah. So first of all, I love your choice of words because we truly do believe that in order to make an impact, you really have to connect more throughout all levels of the business. And that's not just at, a leadership level within our organization and our clients, but at each and every level of the organization, there has to be that connection and that kind of healthy challenge to do better. And I believe it's part of what makes PeopleScout different. It's part of our legacy of service that I think really contributes to this unique partnership that we've got, in the industry. It's putting our clients' kind of goals, interests at the center of everything we do. We talk about it in our business. It starts with empowering our employees, the ones that are closest to the operations, so that they know that they can make decisions each and every day that are in the best interest of our clients. And so when you think about connecting more, it actually has to come to life through some of those types of activities. And at PeopleScout, we regularly recognize our employees when they do this for our clients. It means listening first, right? And so we were in a pursuit, nice piece of business where prospect has come back to us and said, gosh, you guys really listen to us. And part of that is listening and then being able to come back, as we talked a little bit about earlier, what's the right combination of technology, consulting services, and processes and people that kind of help the client for where they're at today with this vision for the future. And we kind of break it down and simply look at it like this. Instead of driving our approach, our strategies, we're trying to engage and develop solutions that allow us to champion our clients' vision and strategies. And so that means we're bringing things like amplifiers to market. We've talked to you about that in the past. This suite of services that are modular by design that make it easy for clients to deploy kind of highly relevant, cost-effective solutions that allow them to move quickly. Solutions like talent mapping, where they just want to really understand kind of what's happening in the market, where can they find talent. Talent sourcing, like building unique pools for the operational diagnostics that we've done for a number of clients that kind of bring this consultative third-party perspective to their operations and just provide options for them to consider. And then, one of the other amplifier products we really like is called Sure Start, which is a solution set that really focuses on early stage onboarding of an employee and drives retention at 30, 60, and 90 days. And so taking all of these things into consideration based on where clients are at today is what we think is really a part of that connecting more and understanding it's not just an outsourced model as it was maybe 5 years or so ago. It's really about what's the right collection of services that best fit. So I'll stop there, see if you've got any other thoughts or questions around kind of what I've shared.
Well, we're running low on time. I do want to mention that I'm not, you said you like my choice of words. I'm not accidentally brilliant. I'm intentionally. I know that's in your branding. You say connecting more. I wanted to pin you down and make you tell us what that actually means. How did that work? But I think you've done a great job with that. And it's pretty clear, Rick, that, I mean, don't you think that clients now, they used to come with a project or an outsourced thing. They now come with problem sets
Yeah.
and say, hey, I need you to solve these problems. And those problems seem to change from quarter to quarter. So you really have to be a little more agile, a little more flexible in your approach. Are you finding that it's changed the partnership dynamic where it's a little bit more shoulder to shoulder, a little less arm's length with extreme governance parameters where they're just sitting and having dark conversations with you?
No, 100%, Elliot. We are seeing it that way, but just because things are happening in such real time. And as I alluded to earlier, what we've seen is our clients' teams are also pressed, right? They've had to go through some reductions as well. And so what we see is they're looking for partners that they can trust, partners that are challenging kind of status quo for them, partners that bring practical solutions that can be plugged in quickly. And if they don't work the way that everybody thinks they're going to be, we can move and adjust quickly. And I think the way you've suggested it, quarter to quarter, is a reality today, right? As I talk to clients, everybody's trying to come up with the definition for the new norm. Well, we are in the new norm. That uncertainty is something that I think we've got for a bit. And so, yes, we see ourselves not only with clients, but prospects who are looking for someone to sit on the same side of the desk with them, if you will, and have those discussions and drive those types of solutions.
All right. Well, great conversation, Rick. Thanks so much for taking part in the podcast.
My pleasure. Really appreciate it. Thank you for all you do for our industry. Really appreciate an opportunity to be here all today.
Well, you are welcome and thank you. And thank you to the audience for your time and attention. This is, the reality of the world is I think that everyone, whether providers, practitioners, recognizes that we are in a more fluid environment than we were, let's say, 5 or 10 years ago, and are working on how to solve for those problems in real time. So we hope this was useful to you. I want to thank Rick Betori, the president of PeopleScout, a division of True Blue, and as I said, one of the top-rated providers on both the RPO and MSP Baker's Dozen for his contribution. Rick, we'll have you back real soon to talk some more. This is Elliot Clark. I'm the CEO of HRO Today, and thank you for your time and attention.